Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
How it started, how Share the Spirit started, it started in 1946 because my father had been hurt in a work accident. He was up 35 feet and he was electrocuted, and then when they turned the electricity off, he fell onto broken rocks and stuff. Needless to say, he spent a few years in the hospital. So the Christmas coming up was looking so bleak for us because my mother couldn't even afford a Christmas tree, and she was busy taking buses and streetcars back and forth to the hospitals to visit. So we weren't going to have a tree that year, and we were not going to have any gifts that year. And then I think about 3 or 4 days before Christmas, there was a knock on the door, and it was a bunch of people from our church, Our Saviour's Lutheran Church in Winnipeg. And they arrived and they just absolutely shocked us. They came in with the Christmas tree, decorations, all kinds of gifts from my parents and ourselves, you know, something to take to my dad in the hospital. And that's how it started. It saved our Christmas, and it gave us new hope for humanity is what it did. And ever since, that stayed in my head. And then when Ed and I were married, as soon as we had the opportunity, Ed liked the idea so much too. So we started the first, it was called Adopt a Family, and 25 years ago I think, quite a while ago. And we started off with, we wanted 2 families that we could supply a complete, fabulous Christmas dinner. It had to be up to scale like other people would have. Like it had all the extras, the trimmings, everything. So we thought if we could just raise enough money for 2 families, and we were looking at about little over $2,000 to raise. So the first year with that we raised $7,000. So we did.
Just don't remember the number of the families that year, but even going back to what Donna said though about how they started and the church had come and helped them. She talks about her mother on the bus coming home from work.
Oh, right, yeah.
And hearing people talking. Explain that, Liz.
Well, my mom was on the bus coming home from work, and there were 2 women in front of her talking, and they were really excited. And they're talking about this family that they had done all this for. They had collected all these gifts, and they were going to bring up all the food and the meals and everything, whatever, you know, to get us to the season. Not us, but whatever this family's name was. Yeah. And my mother was sitting there listening to that, thinking what a lucky family that is. These people are going to get a surprise Christmas with all the works, and she thought, boy, that would be something if that ever happened to us. So anyway, she got home and we were carrying on with things, and a couple hours later, knock on the door.
Yeah, they were.
And there they were, the Christmas tree. all gifts,
That
these
was
people.
cool, yeah.
We didn't, it was just overwhelming. They were all like from our church, like I said, but it was overwhelming. They filled our house with cheer and joy and happiness. That's how it started. I never forgot that Christmas.
So the Whitehorse Firefighters Charitable Society, what we're doing is organizing the whole kind of piece. So we'll do the orders for the food, we'll collect all the information from the social workers. We have about 27 or so different organizations that contact us that have folks in need that they think would be ideal for this program. So it helps us identify the families that would be then go on to Share the Spirit Yukon. We then become a hub for any folks wishing to sponsor a specific family. So we'll take the information and then we'll make it anonymous and we'll associate a number to them, and then we're able to send that out to a family who is doing very well this year and maybe wants to support a family or however many kids that they want to help support. So we're kind of the middleman for all the different groups, whether it be for the food, whether it be for the presents, and then on top of that, for any of the kids we have that aren't sponsored, that aren't being adopted by another group in town, we then sponsor them. So we make sure that all the folks that are being sent to us from the social services or governments or First Nations will be looked after for Christmas time.
Auctioning Christmas trees, just whatever we could do, and it was bands, always the music, all the musicians were 100% behind us and donated all their time. And then after that we went back to the Taku, and we'd sit there. I remember explaining to you earlier about the bar. People would be sitting at the bar, and that's the only room there was, because all the tables and chairs were being used the tables were being used for wrapping gifts and getting things coming in the back door with a GMP trucking and just organizing the oranges and turkeys are coming in, and there's just, but so great, and everybody helped. Everybody just digs in and helps at the time, and so we passed it on to, I think it was the Northwest Tell, but the Kinets, the Kinsmen were involved a bit with this, and then the Kinets took it over, and they had it for several years, and I think they switched to adopt a family name too. But also, and then when they couldn't take it anymore or handle it anymore, it got a little bit too much. That's when the Whitehorse Firefighters stepped in.
Yeah, so the Whitehorse Firefighters Charitable Society, we were started in 2014. In 2016, we approached the Kinets, who had asked if there was any organizations that may wish to help out when it comes to running Share the Spirit. And we said yes. Our executive director at the time, his family had actually been involved with buying gifts for families for the previous 10 years before that, when the Kinets ran it. So we had an enthusiastic supporter within our board to allow us to go ahead with this venture that we never did before. We're not too sure of, but we had 3 organizers from the Kinets kind of help guide us onto how their program works, and that started in 2016. That was 8 Share the Spirits ago. So we kind of took it and ran.
The reason why we do this is it's important to be leaders in our community. We're a local business, and we're very grateful for this business that we've developed and the support that we have from our local clients. And GP needs to do their best to give back to the community. We're the only business like this in the Yukon, and we play a big role and have the ability to cater to these special organizations and events, and we want to utilize that.
Of our fire department that we're made up of, we have 35 professional members that are working with us. Of that, most, if not all, at one point or another are involved with the actual program, whether it be just kind of helping out with the delivery or helping out with cleanup or setup. Almost all of our members are pretty active in the Share the Spirit program. I think the biggest thing that I always want to kind of share is the support we're getting from the different groups. So we've got great support from some of our bigger sponsors, Northwest Tel, GP Distributing, Canadian Tire, Pacific Northwest Freight Group. Like, without those big players, this would be very hard to pull off.
We do wholesale food to Yukoners. And it is a multi-generational business who has been attached in one way or another to Share the Spirit probably since it started. As I was a young lad in school collecting food for hampers. And so I know my father played a role a long time ago with the Isaacs. And about 4 years ago, Share the Spirit came to GP needing to build 250 hampers that would take about 8 hours or more to actually do. So a hamper could have up towards 25 different items, food items, for families at Christmas. And so what we did is we devised a system with Share the Spirit so that we could pack these hampers in a few hours with volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteers to make 500 hampers for this organization, as well as help ship them out. The beginning, it took about 4 hours. This last Christmas, it took us about 2 hours and 30 volunteers. With those 500 hampers too, I want it to be known that GP's clients purchase a lot of the turkeys and donate to this organization. This year we're up to 500. And so the remaining turkeys that we weren't able to collect by donation, GP bought the rest and donated all of them. So, you know, we've donated, I think, over 1,000 turkeys in the last 2 years to the organization, and everybody's donations have just been, you know, amazing, overwhelming us, helping us get to our goals. And, you know, every year, I think our clients look forward to helping out. And we just wanted to make sure that we thank all of them individually and keep this going for this organization. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to make this happen without all the volunteers. And the last few years, we've had more and more volunteer organizations come and help us. It started off with the 4-H kids, which did a phenomenal job. And then we've had the Rotary Club join us, and we've had the Lions clubs join us, and it's just progressively gained ground, and we have a lot of special volunteers that come and help us every year. And every year we're looking for new volunteers, so we're hoping to see new faces in the years to come.
The other thing that it would be key to acknowledge is the volunteers we have in the different communities. So when we started, it was just in Whitehorse, and when we wanted to expand, of course, you have the logistics problems. This is, 2,000 kilometers on the highway at least that you have to go to all these different communities, and some of them are fly-in. So how do we get local connections to those communities? And luckily, we were able to contact the different fire departments, EMS, RCMP in those communities with our connections with emergency services, and they were more than happy to help out and assist us in a way to help the folks that might be struggling in their community too. And so I can't say enough good things about all those folks that take time out of their life in Haines Junction, Dawson City, Mayo, Carmax, Old Crow, all these different locations that they work with us to provide for these families as well, so that we're able to say this is a territorial-wide program that we can help you no matter where you live, what small village you may be in. We can give you a quality Christmas if you're struggling.
So yeah, there's a big piece of the puzzle that we don't focus on, and we really need to, and that's after all these hampers are built, GP is told where they need to go, when they need to be there. And so we work with all the logistical partners like Pacific Northwest, Air North, A1, Smalls, and they are the partners that get all of these hampers to the communities. This being one of the most widespread hamper delivery organizations, I think, in Canada, could never have been done without those logistical partners making sure that we get the products to the families on time and in good shape.
A lot of great support. We had 126 different sponsors. Those are anywhere from individual families, individuals, to businesses that contacted us for getting wish lists of what these kids were looking for. And they sponsored roughly, I think it was about 500 to 600 kids this year. So for 2023, we in total helped 455 families and 919 children.
I'm wondering, what are your reactions to hearing like the size this thing has become?
Well, we're just always, every year we're amazed.
Yeah.
Every year we talk about it and say, wow, it's growing, and it's just, we're always so happy. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that suffer and they're alone. And with this program, you know, they're recognized, they're made to feel they're important, because they get gifts and beautiful dinners and things. So it's just, I don't know, it's just something, like I said before, it was an idea whose time had come in Whitehorse, a Yukon.
The greatest firefighters in the Canada.
That's
Right.
Yeah, you guys, amazing. Thank you.